Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the February 13, 2025 Gary Community School Board meeting. I'd like to confirm that we have a legal meeting, confirming we have quorum. May I have roll call for attendance?
Yes, Mr. Suggs.
Present.
Dr. Woods.
Present.
Attorney Irving. Myself here. Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Everyone is here.
With all members present, we have a legal meeting. At this time, will we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 2 on our agenda, approval for the February 13th board meeting agenda. I will entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor, properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have an agenda. Item number 3 on our agenda. I would like to call Ms. Whittington up, please.
Good evening, Dr. Stokes and members of the Gary Community School Corporation School Board and this amazing community and those who are tuning in virtually. My name is Chelsea Whittington and I am the Chief Public and Community Relations Officer for this great district, and it's always a pleasure to deliver the Gary Snapshots. What's the Gary Ready Snapshots? What are they? I'm so glad you asked. It's our opportunity to highlight positive things happening across the district. And this time, to be quite honest, I had to whittle the list down. So we have 4 items that we will be covering today that are sure to make you smile. And we are going to start with sportsmanship. One thing that we are very, very focused on in the district is emphasizing student and athletes. We have student athletes. And on several occasions in October, January, and February, the state of Indiana, that being the Indiana High School Athletic Association, recognized several of our students for great sportsmanship. And I'd like to read snippets of what they said about our students from West Side Leadership Academy, starting with boys football. We had a contest on October 25th, 2024 in New Prairie High School in New Carlisle, Indiana. And the statement was made about Giuseppe Moore, number 8. New Prairie High School would like to recognize Westside's number 8, Giuseppe Moore, for showing great sportsmanship during Friday night's football sectional game at New Prairie. As the primary ball carrier for Westside, he was involved in numerous plays and continued to compete and simply play the game. Afterwards, he went out of his way to connect with several New Prairie players and wish them well. A complete class act and a role model of Gary Westside. Thank you, Giuseppe, for being the face of sportsmanship. Giuseppe and his other athletic colleagues are unable to join us. Why? Because they're in practice. He is a three sport athlete, so he's in basketball or track. He's in practice. But we definitely wanted to make sure that we would shout our students out. Next, basketball. We would like to recognize the sportsmanship demonstrated by Gary Westside's number 5, Derek Collins, and during the Great Lake Conference matchup on January 23rd, 2025. The game featured an up-tempo, full-court battle with both teams pushing pace from start to finish. But in the end, Gary Westside pulled away to secure a 62-51 win. Despite the intensity and quick pace, Derek and Holland displayed respect, integrity, and fair play throughout the contest. His positive approach extended to their teammates, opponents, and the officiating crew. This game, congratulations to these athletes for representing their programs and the spirit of the IHSAA basketball with class and sportsmanship. This game was a testament to the competitive nature of the Great Lake Conference and the values that make high school athletics so special. Can we give a round of applause for number 5, Derek Holland? He too is currently in basketball practice. And last but not least, this report is on our student, Tyler Cruz, at a February 1st basketball game. We would like to recognize the leadership and sportsmanship displayed by Gary Westside Leadership Academy's number 34, Tyler Cruz, during their game on February 1st, 2025. Although Gary Westside pulled away for a 60-38 victory, both teams maintained a strong spirit of competition and good sportsmanship throughout the entire contest. Tyler stood out by helping to keep the game focused on the game, ensuring that every play was met with mutual respect regardless of the score. The officiating crew recognized the effort and leadership this player provided, which truly embodies the values of high school athletics. Congratulations to number 34, Tyler Cruz, for your outstanding leadership and commitment to sportsmanship. Again, we'd like to congratulate all of these young leaders on this designation by the state of Indiana, the Indiana High School Athletics Association. This next feature of Gary Snapshots is something that is very near and dear to this community and to me especially, as I have spent the past couple of weeks on a media tour of sorts with these young people who had the opportunity, thanks to the ISEER Foundation, to travel to Washington, D.C. during the inauguration. They attended several inaugural activities and they even made their way to the Pentagon. But don't let me tell it. I'd love to call my colleague up, Sharice White, who is the founder and visionary of the ISEER Foundation, and 2 of our 3 students who traveled to Washington from Westside Leadership Academy are also here along with board members, and she would like to give a brief recap of their venture to Washington. And we were also playing the video at the start of the school board meeting, so you can definitely go back onto YouTube. We'll share the link so that you can get the whole experience. Let's welcome Sharice White.
Equipment. I was not trying to do a Zoom. I said, but you can meet us at the airport when we return. They were short-staffed, so what we did is our 2 students had an opportunity to go to Fox Studio in Chicago, and they got a chance to talk about their excitement. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, and we are going to do more with our students. And Mrs. Stokes, we are so proud of you being here, and thank you so much.
Thank you again, Sharice, board members and students, and you can also watch the latest episode of A Day in the District, where Sharice and all 3 of our Westside Leadership Academy students are featured, as well as our latest podcast on WGBV. They did an amazing job. Now we're moving on to more good news. During the month of January, the annual Martin Luther King Ecumenical Service was held at New Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church, and I am pleased to report that in both categories, middle and high, the Gary Community School Corporation was victorious for the essay contest, first place and third place. This evening, we are pleased to have the first place winner from Westside Leadership Academy to briefly share his essay. And let's welcome Mr. Davion Taylor as he comes. I believe his prize is it $500? Davion, you ready home something?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his life to his dream of fostering racial equality and justice for minority communities across the country. King's leadership was significant in abolishing systematic segregation for African Americans and in the establishment of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, seen as a major accomplishment of the Civil Rights Movement. The influence of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. extends beyond historical moments. His pursuit for justice is a model for all individuals, imparting essential lessons on achieving success by means of integrity, determination, as well as an unwavering commitment to equality. Dr. King's life exemplifies a blueprint for success that starts with setting clear goals, facing difficulties with perseverance, and making a meaningful impact on others. A clear vision and attainable goals are the foundation of success, as it acts as a guide, providing direction and purpose in life. Dr. King articulated a vision for a society free of racial equality. Dr. King's vision served as a direction for his activities and brought people together around a shared goal. People must have their own visions or goals to direct their journey, as much as Dr. King had his vision for equality. Having defined objectives sustains people's motivation and engagement, even during circumstances that are difficult. Although difficulties and roadblocks are unavoidable, perseverance is the secret to climbing the stairs of challenges while overcoming them and succeeding. Despite imprisonment, threats, and intense resistance during the Civil Rights Movement, Dr. King maintained his dignity. Others were motivated to keep fighting for justice by Dr. King's tenacity during events like the Montgomery bus boycott and the March on Selma. Every obstacle, whether it be academic, emotional, or professional, is a normal part of the path to achievement. Perseverance fosters character development and imparts important lessons that aid in personal development. Making a significant difference in the lives of others and the world around us is what true success is all about, not merely reaching the top of the building. Dr. King's efforts were not solely for his own advantage, but aimed at securing freedom, dignity, and equality for all individuals. His achievements had a profound impact from the Civil Rights Act to inspire global movements for justice. Acts of service such as mentoring, volunteering, or assisting one's community establish a sense of achievement. Success is more significant when it elevates others, cultivating a positive impact. Dr. King's life serves as an example of a success blueprint, establishing goals, conquering obstacles, and having an influence. He encouraged us to continue the legacy he left for future generations by teaching us that success is determined by what we leave behind for others. Thank you.
One more round of applause for Davion. I'd like to acknowledge his parent here. I know his principal is here, Mr. Carl Scott. Thank you, Mr. Scott. And we'd also like to acknowledge his counselor, Ms. Denise Bacon. She ensured that all of the essays were submitted in a timely fashion. And we'd also like to acknowledge, in his absence, Nashawn Robinson, who was the first place winner for Gary Middle School. And last but not least, my marching orders were to put this big guitar right here in the front so that it can be seen. For many of you know, most recently, the Gary Community School Corporation was awarded a generous donation from the Hard Rock Casino of Northern Indiana. I want to emphasize that there were specific guidelines regarding the gift and that we could not just be awarded $500,000 and do whatever we wanted with it. There were specific guidelines that specifically said that this must go to impact children. serving the children of the district. And so that means no salaries or things that could not be sustained. And just think about if you were just given a certain amount of money with a wish list, keyword would be wish, where you wish you could have it, but you need to follow the guidelines. And in fact, there was a previous time where we were offered this opportunity, and what the team came up with did not quite meet the standards of what Hard Rock was asking. So we had to go back to the drawing board to ensure that what they were asking us to do was met, and also when the dollars were transferred that we got moving. So we're moving on those items that are being improved in the district, and this includes a laundry list of things from wall mats to ergonomics, sensory for our special needs students, and a whole list. And what we will be sure to do is to give a report out periodically as those different projects are completed. Every leader in every building came together to discuss what needs they had in their specific buildings, and then presented that to the group for whether it fit the guidelines or not, and that's how we were able to determine the list. So if there's anyone who was asking or questioning, well, why aren't you hiring more people? This is a one-time gift as far as we know, and we wanted to make sure that these dollars made impact as well as met the guidelines per Hard Rock of Northern Indiana. So here you see on the screen a group photo with our school board members, our leadership team, and representatives from the Hard Rock Casino of Northern Indiana as we were presented this $500,000, and we certainly appreciate that boost in the arm on behalf of children. So we'd like to give a Hard Rock Casino of Northern Indiana a round of applause. If you'd like to read the full press release of what the dollars are going to be used for, please visit GarySchools.org. This concludes my Gary Ready Snapshots. Thank you so much, members of the board. I will turn it back over to you, Mr. Suggs.
Thank you. Item number 4 on our agenda, public comments. I would like Mr. Johnson to read the comment information, please.
Pursuant to IC 5-14-1.3.5-3,
The Gary Community School Corporation Board of Trustees welcomes comments from the community. As a result, the agenda for each regular meeting provides time for public expression. Public expression is limited to 3 minutes per individual and 30 minutes total discussion of items on the agenda, or to express concerns relative to the operation of the school, city, school board actions, and other items of general educational interest. If there are many people wishing to address the board, we may limit the amount of time a person may speak. Comments shall be directed to the board, not to individual board members. Statements shall not be abusive or argumentative. Persons making comments shall not debate statements made by other persons. It shall not be permissible to orally present or discuss complaints against individual employees of the Gary Community School Corporation at any board of school trustees meetings. Issues relating to personnel, individual circumstances, or an individual school will be referred to the building principal or an appropriate administrator in an attempt to resolve the issue prior to an appeal before the board. Speaker cannot transfer the remaining time to another person. The board president will enforce these rules and may take actions necessary to maintain order at the meeting. Such actions may include, but are not limited to, interrupting the speaker if the statement is too lengthy, unduly repetitive, or otherwise violates the rules. The president may terminate the address of any speaker who violates these rules, or limit the total amount of time devoted to public comments if there's a large number of people wishing to address the board, or if there's a large agenda of other business before the board.
Thank you, sir. Tamika Pope.
Good evening, Dr. Stokes and the board. I am a teacher here in Gary Schools. First, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Stokes and the administrative staff that helped us when we were here. We had to come here at Williams one day because of the water main, so I want to say thank you to that. My concern is the weather and the conditions when we go to the school. Not saying that we should not go to the school, I didn't have an issue at all. My concern was the day of the ice, of the parking lot and the sidewalk not being maintenance prior to us coming to the school. Luckily, we did not have any falls at Williams, but I know that was a concern. And then today, by the time we got to school, for some of us, it was not paved yet or plowed yet. So just a little concern. We have no issues with coming to the school during the conditions, because we know that back in the days, we were always in school in these conditions. I just asked on behalf of the staff and myself if we can at least make sure that prior to us coming in, the things can be paved or plowed prior to us. We have some that return or go to school at 6 o'clock in the morning, and so we need to make sure that is safety is first. Thank you.
Mrs. Tyndall?
Good afternoon. I'm Mrs. Lavetta Tyndall, the 1966 graduate of the historically and architecturally profound and renowned Roosevelt High School. I want to address this board and community and let you know that I'm concerned that other schools have lobbyists. They have an item on their budget for lobbyists, and I wonder if we considered making arrangements to have a lobbyist or lobbyists for our school concerns. With the House Bill 1136, and there's a House Bill 1002 that states our monies will be given to the charter school for buses, meals, and other items, other expenses. Regarding the third grade and the testing of the third graders, and they're being retained, I think that's the right word, held back. I want to know how are you communicating with the parents to let them know exactly what the terms and conditions are regarding this third grade matter. We can't afford to have our children not properly encouraged and assisted to experience success in their being assisted so they can be successful and move on in school and not be held back. I understand that when the test is given this spring, if the children who failed the test, if children fail, they will have an opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, to be assisted through going to summer school. How are you communicating that to the parents? How do we ensure that all of our parents know the options and take advantage of those options to ensure success for our children? They can't afford to flunk. You know that. We know that. And so we need to do all we can to make sure our parents and caregivers of these children are adequately informed and given the support to support their children. Thank you so much.
Mr. Buggs?
Good evening, Dr. Stokes and board. I just have a very few concerns. One of them is I appreciate all the accolades for the students, the one that went to Washington, and the good conduct. But I think it is incumbent upon us to really show them how much we appreciate it. They should have been at this meeting. They should be given some kind of an award, something they can feel, something they can carry home and be proud of. That's ridiculous. And the young people that went to Washington DC, they should have been allowed to speak about their experiences. We're too tired, at least I'm too tired of being seen and not heard. That's one of the things I want to bring to y'all's attention, so that shouldn't happen again. If they're doing good things, let them know they're doing good things. I had a very productive meeting with Dr. Stokes and the staff, but there was one question that I was asking, I thought about it when I got home. What are you looking for? Very simple, I'm looking for due process for the students. I don't come before you just to be coming up here to write or be negative or be an adversary, no. I come before you because the students can't speak for themselves, and if I look into something, find out that there's some complicity of a teacher or staff that's denying a student due process, I'm gonna speak out about it. It's in my DNA, I will do that. Until they get justice. Nobody else can speak for them. When you expel a student, you're disrupting his whole life, especially when you got guidelines where there are other things that you can do as an alternative. You put them out there right in prison. So those are the things that when I come before you, it's not just to write. I appreciate what the Gary Community School Corporation is doing, but it's coming up on me to let them know also where they have failed the students at. I believe in telling things as they are. Because when we hide stuff, or don't mention it, or try to sweep it under the rug, we're doing a disservice to the citizens, the parents, and the students. So I think the students should be represented more by speaking, let them know what they feel, how they feel. If you want to appreciate them, let them know it. Give them a certificate, or plaque or something, give them this microphone, let them speak. That's all I have to say, let them speak.
Moving to item 5, consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Been moved, is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs,
Yes.
Dr. Woods,
Yes.
Attorney Irving,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
it's 5 yes.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries. As we move on to item 6 on our agenda, Linda, would you please?
Yes. Good evening, Gary Community School Board members and Dr. Stokes and community members. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to try to be brief this evening. The first item I would like to talk about is the disposition of old outstanding checks. I'm requesting the board to allow these checks to be redeposited into the funds. These are checks that are over 2 years old that have not been cashed. We have done every attempt to reach out to the people to, ask them, did you lose the check? Do you need it reissued? And we have not gotten any response. So with your permission, we would like to redeposit the money into the funds where they were originally expensed out of.
So what we're gonna ask is for items 6.1 through 6.3, we will ask the board to take an individual vote. And then if you will, items 6.4 through and including 6.7, if you wanna make a motion, it's up to you to do those collectively. But if we can ask you if you can give us a vote on this particular item now.
Entertain a motion for item 6.1 for approval.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, may I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs,
Yes.
Dr. Woods,
Yes.
Attorney Irving,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
5 yes.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of sale and disposition of old inventory and equipment. So what we did was we kind of went to all of the buildings and did an inventory of old equipment that hadn't been used or had been sitting for years and years, broken things, items maybe that we're not utilizing, that we don't need. You know, there's been advancements, things of that nature. What I'm requesting is that we allow a certified licensed company to come in and do a sale of these items. So they would kind of ticket and go through. We've earmarked a lot of the items, and they would earmark the value and put it for sale. And if it didn't sell, it would be an auction sale. And if it didn't sell, then Dr. Stokes, per our policy, she would be allowed to dispose or donate the items that were not sold. So with that, what we will do is we will make sure that we provide the board with a list of all these items before we even move forward with this process. But I'm requesting that we start this process.
Thank you. May I have a motion on item 6.2, please?
So
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs,
Yes.
Dr. Woods,
Yes.
Attorney Irving,
Yes.
Dr. McLeod, yes, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
there are 5 yes.
With 5 yes in favor and 0 against, the motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is resolution number 10, which is the reclass of prior year expenses. I'm not sure if you recall or remember, I had talked about some expenses that I felt from previous years, from 22 and 23, that the expenses came out of the operations fund, but really, technically, the expenses should have been expensed out of textbook funds because they were for students. They were Chromebooks, supplies, things of that nature. What happened was, DUAB approved those expenses to come out of operations, and as I did an analysis and assessed it, I reached out to State Board of Accounts, asking them, because we have textbook fund monies, and it should have really been expensed out of there. So with a lot of discussion, they had to go to management with State Board of Accounts, and they were allowing us to reclass and put this money back into the operations fund and expense it out of the correct fund that it originally should have been expensed out of. So with your permission, I would like to move forward with this process. It would happen in February.
I'll entertain a motion for item number 6.3.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have a roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs,
Yes.
Dr. Woods,
Yes.
Attorney Irving,
Yes.
myself, yes, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
5 yes.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Thank you.
At this point, we have several items that include donations. I'd like to list the items individually so we can recognize the organizations that have made donations to the school district. Item 6.4, donation from Guy and Allen Funeral Home to Bailey STEM Academy. Item 6.5, a donation to Redefine Fitness to Beverage Schools. Item 6.6, a donation from Cat Malone to WSLA Performing Arts. And item 6.7, a monetary donation from K&G Men's Company to Westside Leadership Academy. I'll entertain a motion to approve those items together, please.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman. Second,
Been moved and properly seconded for those monetary donations. Any discussion on that? Hearing no discussion, may we have approval on those items?
Mr.
Roll call
Suggs,
for approval.
Mr. Suggs.
Yes, please.
Dr. Woods.
Yes.
Attorney Irving,
Yes.
myself is yes, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
5 yes.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, that is approved. Item number 6.8, approval of a WAN, wide area network. I see Mr. White's name listed here. I'd like for him just to do some clarification with the board of what this is.
Good afternoon, Gary School Board, for the trustees, Dr. Stokes and Gary Community. I come to you today to present the results of a wide area network, the WAN we call it. We put out an RFP back in October, and the WAN is the internet connection that we use to connect all our schools and for the students to go out to the next slide. This is our WAN, right? This is the WAN that we propose to build. Williams would be the main hub. We have a 10 gig pipe coming out of Williams and 1 gig going to each of the other 10 schools. We did evaluate, after a thorough analysis of the submissions of the project, our committee emerged and we picked Samuel as the winner of the project. And our reason being, Samuel had, they were cost efficient. They had personal offers, significant cost saving compared to our current service. There was competitive prices across both current. Right now we do have a 10 gig network going out, but we have two main hubs, and we've taken that down to one. And they have a favorable long-term structure over the 5-year contract term. Next one, please. Also, the technical solutions that they came up with. Samuel was brought out ENA, and ENA is a well-known internet provider and technical solution resolver. And so after meeting, they meet the current and future needs of Gary School Corporation, and they have escapable broadband options up to 10 gigs, and they have strong technical implementation plan. Next. They have a proven track record in educational networks, strong technical support, and infrastructure, and they demonstrated an understanding of the E-rate requirements. All right, this project, I'll remind you, this is an E-rate project, so it'll cost Gary Community School Corporation 10% of the total cost. The cost of the project would be $1,454,250. Gary Community School Corporation will pay a one-time cost of 10%, which would be $100,450.25. We pay a monthly reoccurring cost, and that monthly reoccurring cost will be the 10 gig pipe that's coming into Williams. That'll be $212.50 for the 10 gig, and then we'll pay a $975 cost a month, and that's for each 1 gig that's going into each school. I come to you today to recommend Samuel as the next provider for our WAN, and I'm looking for board approval. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to open up the floor to the board members if there are any questions on this presentation.
I have one question. Sounds like you're saying Samuel, and here it says Zayo. What's?
They say Samuel, we say Zayo, Z-A-Y-O.
Okay.
That's the house family. They just purchased ENA, and they were a wide-based network provider, and ENA is more of a technical company. They do the as Mr. Johnson would say, they do the main skill work. They do the grunt work.
And then you mentioned we get an E-rate. I think I know what that is, but could you explain that?
Well, E-rate is a government funded project where they provide money for networking and connectivity all across the country. And the schools that win that funding, they pay 10% of the cost of what it would cost to build your network.
Thank you.
What is the anticipated lifetime of this
This would be it's a 5-year contract with a 3-year, 1-year option.
That's the length of the contract. The equipment, is there a estimated lifetime on?
The equipment, the lifetime on the equipment, technology is changing so much, Mr. Suggs. The equipment that we have now, is a year old. We just finished a year to 2 years. We have just finished a major reconstruction of our infrastructure. That was phase 1 of our network project. And so all 10 of our buildings, except for BGM, which we have spoken with Dr. Stokes, and she's in the process of trying to find some funding to rebuild BGM. But we should be, after this, I think we'll be in the 21st century network-wise for the next 10 years.
Any other questions on this item?
So the monthly recurring cost, $212.50 for the 10 gig pipe.
Well, that's
total cost.
That's $212. The cost is $2,125.
Our cost.
But that's our cost.
Okay.
And that the $975, that'll be our cost. I put our cost in. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, sign me up.
I'm quite sure.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the proposal for Zaniel Education.
There's a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we accept this proposal. Any discussion on the motion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs?
Yes.
Dr. Woods?
Yes.
Attorney Irving?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
5.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 6.9, the approval of field and conference experience.
So, Mr. Board, Mr. Suggs, in the package that the board received, there were several field experiences. We don't say field trips anymore, we now say field experiences that were put into the information, so you have those files. We ask your approval so that we can allow our staff members to go on these experiences.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
So motion on the floor, may I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion from the board? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs?
Yes.
Dr. Woods?
Yes.
Attorney Irving?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
5 yes.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries. Let's move to the last item, 6.10, Mrs. Zaporowski, please.
Hello again. It is time for us to go out for a new food service RFP for a vendor. So what I'm requesting from the board, because it is a very strenuous timeline on this, I have certain requirements that I have to meet, advertising, things of that nature. So with your approval, I would like to submit the RFP to the Indiana Department of Education to approve the RFP. It's a 38-page document that we've been working on, we put together, with certain things added in there, requirements that we want for our students and our buildings. So here's our timeline. So if, with your permission, I would actually submit it tomorrow because it does take them a while to get back because of course it's 38 pages. And then what we would do is we would start to advertise. It's a requirement now that we do a 2-week advertising for this. It will be on our website and it will also be in the paper. And then what we do after that is we are going to allow vendors to come in and visit our facilities, because how can you bid on something when you've never seen it too, with our equipment and things of that nature. So we will be making visits to the buildings with vendors that want to come in and submit an RFP with us. And then we would award it on April 10th at a board meeting.
Thank you. Entertain a motion for a proposal for RFP for food services.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, may I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Mr. Suggs?
Yes.
Dr. Woods?
Yes.
Attorney Irving?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
It's 5 yes.
For the vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Thank you.
President Suggs,
Yes, please.
will you give us permission to go back to consent agenda? We did have approval of personnel, and we have a new member to our team is here. Mrs. Whittington is going to come up and share if you give us permission.
Please, thank you.
Good evening once again, Dr. Stokes, members of the board and community. It is our pleasure to welcome our new Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Alvin Richards. I'd like to share a little bit about Mr. Richards before you physically meet him and he approaches the podium. Alvin Richards is an IT executive and digital transformation leader with more than 20 years of experience driving technology modernization, infrastructure upgrades, and digital equity initiatives in K-12 education, higher education, and government sectors. His leadership in instructional technology has supported school districts in leveraging automation, data analytics, and enterprise solutions to streamline curriculum delivery, administrative workflows, and financial operations. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Richard has always prioritized giving back to community. He has served as a youth director for inner city youth, leading mentorship programs and providing technology training to underserved communities in Chicago to enhance career readiness and workforce skills. His dedication to bridging technology with student success extends far beyond IT leadership. He actively works to empower young people by equipping them with digital skills needed for success in a technology-driven world. Richards is very happily married for 22 years to his beautiful wife, India Richards, and together they have 2 wonderful children, Timothy, age 12, who's in the 7th grade, he told me, and Chloe, who's in the 9th grade, age 14. As a family man, mentor, and technology leader, he is dedicated to ensuring educational institutions leverage innovation to empower students, teachers, and communities for long-term success. Please join me in welcoming my colleague, Mr. Alvin Richards, and his beautiful family.
Well, thank you to the Gary Community School Corporation, the board, and Dr. Stokes. Thank you for this opportunity to bring 20 plus years to the Gary Community School Corporation. And this is my wife and my 2 children. Yes, we have been married for 22 years, sometime happily, sometime not happily.
We all
But just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. So just to let you know that throughout my career, I have worked across multiple industries in technology leadership. I've had a passion for technology and education for over 16 years. So if there's an industry that deals with technology, I probably worked in it, not-for-profits, even had an interview with Microsoft and was petitioned to work for them. Also land and trust companies, things like that. But over the years, out of all of the industries that I felt more passionate about, that industry was education. And I believe I've made my greatest impact in education. And so I've come to learn some things in life, and that is there's some things we do, but then there are other things that we're born to do. And for me, education and technology is something I believe strongly that I was born to do. So that's why I would say that this position is definitely fits me as well as I would fit the position for the CTO for the Gary Community School Corporation. Right? So in just 4 days, I have hung around the district and got a chance to meet people. I've even met some of you walking through the hallway. And so I had the privilege of meeting just people who were passionate about what they do. So even when I first came to through the doors, the security guard said to me, "What are you here for?" I said, "I'm here to interview for the CTO position." She immediately said, "Go in there with confidence. You got it. You got it. Don't even think nothing. Don't think no negativity. You got it. Stay positive." And so that was good energy. You know, usually when I go for an interview or so, you know, the secretary just says, "He's here." So that was some great energy. Then when I got into the meeting, of course, 6 beautiful women were there to interview me, which I felt very much connected to and at home. Just to give you a little secret, being trained well by 8 sisters, I believe that I fit very well with the chiefs of staff that interviewed me. Yeah. And so then I had the opportunity to meet the IT team, which was an awesome group of men that really put forth the ideas to elevate the technology of this district to a whole nother level. And I just got to give a hand out to Mr. White, who, amen. Who is an exceptional person to work with. And so we started at 11 a.m. and we went all the way to about, I think it was 2 or 3, just talking about the technology and the structure and how everything is set up. And then after that, we took a break, went to the basketball game, and sat there. And as they say, we chopped it up for another 4 or 5 hours, talking about the infrastructure and the technology, right? And so, as I wrap this up and conclude this, I just want to let you know that we live in what is called a techno-digital age, where technology has to be on the cutting edge to stay up with everything. Our youth and students live, breathe, and eat technology. And I learned that from my own children. I could say, you know, punishment, they don't care. I could do anything and take away their privileges, they don't care. But if I touch those electronics, they fall in line right away. So that's just to let you know how much the youth today are involved into their technology. So just to give you an example, that I worked in higher education, and the university that I worked for had a problem with recruitment and retention because they had a lack of equipment, a lack of facilities to bring in the new recruits. They struggled to get their numbers up. And so me and my team implemented a CRM, which was implemented with TargetX, and the overlay was Salesforce. And we put together a CRM where the students could register through their cell phones. And so that cut down hours of registration, and they went from registering students for 2 or 3 hours to registering them in 1 hour. So we had 100 students that were registering in 1 hour. So each student was registering in 5 minutes using their cell phone. So that's the type of technology that we should be looking forward to and forging ahead for, right? And just in closing, just want to say that I would hope that there would be some opportunities to build infrastructure that could actually do programs for drone programming and for satellite programming, starting middle schools and junior high to start acclimating themselves into this particular type of technology, which is the future. Okay? And so with that being said, I would like to say thank you again. Thank you to the board, Dr. Stokes, the community, and hopefully I am a good fit for this position, which I definitely believe that I am born for and to do. Happy Valentine's Day.
Welcome aboard, and at this time, please take your seat at our table. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Item 7 on our agenda, informational items. Vice President Johnson, would you handle item 7.1, please?
Sure. So we had, of course, put out requests for letters of interest for a Gary Library Board appointment, and we have received 4. Oh, okay. So we received 4 letters. And so at this time, residents, what I would like to do is maybe we could have a committee set up to review those letters and then bring that information back to the board.
Thank you, sir. Do you have individuals in mind, or?
Well, I was thinking, and I'm glad I'm sitting on this end of the table, but I was thinking Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod and myself.
Sounds like a wonderful committee.
She can't touch me. She can't hit me.
Well, I look forward to the results of your committee.
So what we'll do is we will have it formally appointed. Shannon will go through.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Item 7.2. Mrs. Lebowski, please again.
Hello again. This is just an update for everybody. That the mileage reimbursement rate, the federal mileage reimbursement rate has gone up to 70 cents. We have adjusted our forms so anybody requesting reimbursement will be using the new mileage rate. I think it changed from 0.67 to 0.70. So this is just an informational item for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7.3, Dr. Stokes.
Yes. I am happy to say that, next slide please, that we are on our last template, thousands, which is administration. So please know that everything I'm going to share now pertains to administrators. I need to make that clear. This is about administrators. This is our first read. So as you know, we will bring back next month a second read, but essentially we did meet, and we talked about the various options under administration. I'm just going to hone in on a few. For example, we have the corporation organization, which is policy 1100, and it basically just talks about how the school board recognizes that the grouping of grades and services in the district would be recommended by the superintendent, and that we have groups of staff members who will help us organize and plan and change and modify recommendations as needed. I'm going to give an example there again about policy, believe it or not, policy 1216, which is dress and grooming. Yes, there is a policy about dress and grooming. Remember, we're talking about administrators, and it says that the school board believes that administrative staff members set examples in dress and grooming for their staff and students to follow. There were different things that we had to agree to that were given under the code as options. We have to be physically clean, neat, and well groomed, dress in a manner consistent with our administrative responsibilities. We have to communicate pride in our personal appearance, so on and so forth. I'm highlighting these things because these are the types of things that deal with administration. There is actually information about policy 1400, about job descriptions. This is why we have to have job descriptions, because those job descriptions turn into information that we support through evaluative processes. I'll give just one more. There is information in here about leave of absences, policy 1430. It talks about administrative staff not otherwise covered by the terms of a current or valid negotiated agreement, which is like our teachers, so we're not covered by that, and how we can request leaves of absences. So there are policies that do govern how we show up and support as administrators. And with that, I just wanted to share a few, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Suggs, unless there are any questions.
Any questions for it? Thank you, Dr. Stokes. Item 7.4, Male Mentorship Program. Mr. King.
Hello, good evening, Gary School Board members, Dr. Stokes, and Gary community. I'm here to present information on the Gary School Corporation Male Mentorship Program. So jumping into the overview, the Gary Community School Corporation proposes to launch a male-based mentoring program designed to support, uplift young men within our district, especially those who may be under-supported or lack positive male role models. The program aims to foster mentorship relationships that encourage academic, professional, social development by involving male teachers, district staff members, as well as community members. We will ensure that all mentors undergo the necessary background checks and make sure that they are qualified to provide support to our young men. So jumping into our objectives, the first one is mentorship connections. So each student selected for the program will be matched with a male mentor, ensuring one-on-one attention and guidance. We plan for the mentors to meet with the mentees bi-weekly for 1 hour. Hopefully, we plan to do it after school so that no school instructional time is interrupted. During those meetings, we plan to focus on building personal connections and understanding the students' likes, dislikes, goals, as well as struggles. Our second objective is the Life Skills Workshop. So in addition to those bi-weekly one-on-one sessions, all mentors and mentees will also participate in a large group workshop. Those workshops will be led by myself as well as other certified stakeholders. And we will be covering a range of topics that go into practical life skills. So some examples of those, not limited to how to tie a tie, job interview skills 101, handling encounters with law enforcement, financial literacy, and other relevant skills necessary to be successful in adulthood. Third objective is community partnerships and sponsorships. So I myself will actively seek out partnerships with local businesses, hopefully in hopes that they align with our mission of uplifting young men. The goal is for those local businesses to provide mentorship, donate materials, as well as participate in those large monthly workshops to enhance the learning experience. So moving on to selecting our mentors. So we would like for our mentors to have a few key qualities about themselves. Number one, having leadership experience. Number two, we want them to have strong interpersonal skills. We want them to be effective, patient communicators that have the ability to connect with the younger generation. And then we also want them to understand the challenges that the young men are currently facing, with them being just empathetic to their academic or personal or social challenges that they may face on a day-to-day basis. And then last, we ask that our mentors are committed as well as dependable. We want you to be reliable and able to show up when you say you will. Along with that, selecting mentors, we also plan to have a structured application process. Within that process, we plan to do a personal and or professional background check, making sure that everyone is approved to be working with youth. We also are going to ask for a personal statement. We just want to know why you would like to be a part of the program and what you feel like you can contribute. And then we'll also ask for your specific area of expertise. And this is to better align our youth with their mentor. So let's say, for instance, some of you gentlemen up there have great careers, some in technology, some attorneys. Some of our young men might be interested in that, and we would love to connect you with them. Next, please. Moving on to selecting our mentees. So we plan on starting with a small group just to get started. My idea is to have a cohort of roughly 20 students. Given our participation from our mentors, we could potentially facilitate more. However, we would like to start small, and within that small group, we would like to do an even split of students, half of them being on-track students, on track to graduation, I would say. So with those students who are on track to graduation, these students may excel in the classroom, but have a gap in male mentorship or possibly male role models in their lives. However, these students will kind of serve as the driving force for the program, considering that they are considered leaders in the classroom. They can be an example to other people within the program. They can drive the conversations and things like that within the room. So the other half of our cohort would be our under-supported students. These students might struggle in the classroom, they might have disciplinary issues, or might need help with their decision-making. So as you can see, the goal is for the group to balance itself out. Obviously, our under-supported students most definitely need as much help as possible, but that's not saying that the children that are thriving in the classroom don't also need positive male role models. So in selecting our mentees, that final selection process looks something like, basically, each child is allowed to volunteer, as in sign themselves up if they are interested. So once we put the word out, if they hear it, they like it, they can sign up. However, we also will be doing recommendation based as well. So I will be connecting with teachers, counselors, school administrators that can help me ensure that the students that we are selecting are appropriate for the program. So next, the name of the program. We decided to go with AAA mentorship. That is because similar to if you're on the road, if you will, and you have a flat tire and you need help on the road, the first person that you might call would be AAA for assistance. So somewhat like that on the road of life, our young men might get stopped, might have an issue along the road, and we are there to help them. So those 3 A's within the AAA mentorship stand for Aspire, Achieve, Ascend. So in conclusion, we feel as though this will be a valuable initiative that provides young men with the tools, guidance, and support needed to succeed in life. And with the involvement and the dedicated mentors within the community partnerships, we plan to make a lasting impact on the lives of our students and the greater Garrett community. Thank you all for your time, for letting me present this information. Does anyone from the board have any questions at this time?
Thank you, Mr. King. Thoroughly enjoyed your presentation. Is there a minimum amount of time that you must have to commit?
A minimum amount of time. So basically, we just ask that you are available for those hourly sessions that will happen bi-weekly, as well as that one large meeting that will occur one time monthly. So if I could give a range, I would say 3 hours a month to start out with would be appropriate. We plan on doing sign-up sheets and everything like that. Once it's approved and ready to go forward, we'll be doing a large announcement and that is where we'll be able to provide everyone with the information needed and exactly the time, dates, and things of that nature.
So if I can chime in, the reason we're asking for you to look at your schedules to see if you can be available, we don't want to start off with a match with students and then, midstream, we have to quit. We want you to do at least semester by semester, commit to a semester, and then if the second semester we have to get a new mentee, a mentor relationship, we will. But we really want you to be able to commit to a semester, and then we'll go from there.
Any other questions?
So the plan is to start this next school year?
So we're testing, this is our pilot test. In fact, we're just going to use seniors just when we start now because they're leaving us. So we're going to start something initially with just some seniors for the remainder of this semester. We may not have all of the sessions where we do the bi-weekly, that's the goal. He's telling me what we want to do starting next year. But for this year, for the remainder of the year, we may just be meeting once a month just to get us going because we're trying to see what our scholars want. We want to hear from them so that at the start of next school year, we have it running really well. So we're really looking to just start with seniors right now because they're going to be leaving us and we want to give them a little bit of support before they leave.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Item number 8 on our agenda, administrative report. Let's move to item 8.1, athletic department update. Coach Kylander.
Kylander, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'd like to thank the board, Dr. Stokes, all the administrators for letting us come up here and giving us the opportunity to promote our athletic programs. Talk about a lot of the great things we have going in the Gary Community Schools. We're very excited about our accomplishments and the future of Gary Athletics. I am Nate Kylander, I'm the athletic director. This is Jeray Crowell-Guider, our athletic coordinator for the Gary Community Schools. We also have Kenneth Riddle back there, who's one of our middle school athletic coordinators, doing a great job himself. What makes me really excited tonight, we're making a recommendation to the board to hire a new baseball coach and also to bring LaTroy Hawkins, a 1991 Westside graduate who pitched 22 years in the major leagues, to help with baseball throughout the community. I think that's a really exciting thing that we have. He's calling and texting me day and night. He's excited to be part of this baseball program here at Westside. So we're really excited. The next page.
Coach,
yes.
Your recommendations did get board approved.
Why, thank you. We appreciate that. I think they will bring some great leadership to our schools and our baseball program. Our mission statement is to rebrand, rebuild, enhance the athletic department by fostering excellence, unity, and community engagement. And then our vision is to create a pipeline of success that develops student athletes from elementary through high school, instilling sportsmanship, pride, and excellence both on and off the field. And we can create that by collaborating with all the stakeholders that include teachers, administrators, staff, students, parents, and the community. It's going to take a collaborative effort by everybody, and to have the athletes serve as an extension of their educational process through athletics. Their participation will help them in their future endeavors. I think athletics can do nothing but help young student athletes achieve their goals in life. Jeray's going to go on to the next page.
All right, so I would like to highlight some of our key accomplishments this year. We are extremely proud of our student athletes, and I just want to share with you their progress as well as our progress as well. So the first accomplishment I wanted to highlight was our sportsmanship rate. The IHSA has a huge value on sportsmanship, and looking at our points, you can see that that is something our coaches and athletes value as well. So we have 108 points out of 100. So
so that just demonstrates the high level of character and integrity that our athletes and coaches have. We have been working hard to invest in the safety of our football equipment at the middle school level. We want to ensure that safety is top priority, so we make sure that our helmets and pads are reconditioned and ready for safe play. Another key accomplishment is we are working really hard to bridge the gap between high school and middle school coaches. We are initiating regular meetings so that they're both speaking the same language and really pushing our athletes to be Cubs and then turn into Cougars, so getting them to stay in the districts. Another key accomplishment that I'm extremely proud about is the partnership that we have with Miller Pizza. I personally believe that Miller Pizza is some of the best in the area. And if you come to any of our events at Westside, we do sell Miller Pizza there. So we want to continue that partnership. It is something new, and we sell out every game. So, yeah. Some of our academic achievements, because we really do push that our athletes are students first and really in the books. So we want to highlight and recognize our boys basketball team. Their GPA for the last grading period was 3.4. Our football team improved GPA by over 0.5 per student. Our participation growth has increased. Our participation growth has increased over all of our sports, so we're extremely excited about that. We have a student athletic leadership team, also known as SALT. And this leadership team, they attend multiple conferences across the state, enhancing leadership and representation. They represent us extremely well. They also help Hank and I on just our day-to-day operations for games and things of that nature. They bring really fun and exciting ideas to the program as well. Also, class of 2025 is set to graduate with more football game wins than any other class in school history.
Our next slide is head coach involvement in middle school hiring and training. We want to ensure all middle school coaches are vetted and trained under the guidance of their high school coaches. Conduct regular clinics to align strategies, techniques, and values across all coaching levels. We will make sure we bring quality individuals, quality people to be around our students. There's a lot that aren't out there that aren't doing the right things, and we're going to make sure we have great people around our student athletes. And they're going to work with our high school coaches. We're going to get recommendations from our high school coaches on who they want running their youth programs at the middle school and elementary schools. That's a big, big thing we need to keep working on and not get good people. We want great people here working with our students. Some brand consistency across the schools. When I got here 5 years ago, I came up with the idea to, let's make everybody Cougars. Let's go orange and blue with everybody. Fought a little resistance, but we thought it was a great idea. Still probably some resistance by a few. But we created a baby mascot up there, which everybody thinks is adorable, even me as a coach. And then the high school and middle school, we went to so you're growing up from a Cub to be a Cougar. So we're really excited about that. And if you see the elementary basketball kids and that we just held, it's really exciting to see transformation from the Cubs to the Cougars as these kids move through their careers at the high school and middle school and elementary levels.
All right, we are also expanding our community presence. So we are working to increase visibility by showcasing athletes and programs such as gear available in local stores. We have athlete banners that are located in our gymnasium. They are also during football season and track season on the football field. We are have active promotion on social media. So we do have a Facebook page for Gary School's athletic page is the name of it on Facebook. We also have a website. Do you have the actual URL for that?
If you go to the Gary Community School Corporation page, there's a link right on there.
Yes, it's on the Gary Community page. It's a link for sports and you will find schedules, achievements, and highlights there. Also, we have been working with Chelsea, and once a month, we have a radio show where we're bringing athletes in, and they're just talking about their experience and recapping the things that are happening in athletics. We also have athletic apparel and merchandise.